Hello, my name is Monika and welcome to Guru Grit. So today, though we always talk about learning how to manifest things for ourselves, be better ourselves and all these things, I would like to talk to you about one of my favorite teachers in more detail and how he taught manifestation. So he's a man by the name of Neville Goddard, and he just did really amazing things, and the way that he did them I find super amazing as well. So we're going to get into all of that so that you could figure out how you can manifest through his method. So I hope that you find it useful. If not, at least entertaining, which is what I always think, at least entertain me. So if you would like to know more about how I do things and the way that I do them, you can look at my TikTok under Guru Grit. I have an Instagram if you want to message me on there. But if you have a particular question, you can email me at gurugritinfo@gmail.com. and let me know what your question is so we can figure that out together. So let's begin. I have been into these things, I think, my whole life. So when I was a child, I was into religion, and then when I turned 18, I read a book called Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav, and I started my spiritual journey. Mystical experiences started pretty much right away, and they continued. So I think everybody has them. We just don't really clue into them, or that we are opening ourselves up to them. So I found Neville Goddard, and things just start to make a lot more sense in this case. So he was born in the early 1900s, in 1905. I think he's a Pisces. I think he's born February 20th or something like that. That makes sense that he's Pisces. He's originally from Barbados, but spent most of his life working and living in New York City. He was a dancer. And then when the, stock market crash happened, he had to find work somehow. But he could barely get by. And that's when he met his spiritual teacher. I've spoken about him previously, a man by the name of Abdullah, in one previous video. We'll get into the pair of them more later on. Not really too necessary, at least not by their own definition in any case. But Neville Goddard taught by using scripture. So you don't have to be religious, you don't have to be Christian or anything like that. But it was his belief that the Bible is allegorical, and that by using scriptures you could decode. It's a manual for manifestation. So his method is this. I like to get right into it, so let's get right into it. You would bring forward into your mind's eye whatever it is that you wanted, as though it's already happened. Okay? He would call it like bringing in a scene or creating a scene. So there's a lot of free content on Neville Goddard all over, the internet. So by all means, go and look for yourself as well. Don't just take my word for it. Try it. And he used to always say in his recordings, it costs you nothing. So by all means, it costs you nothing. And so this is what you do. Step one, you want something. He would call this living from the end. So if you wanted to be married and you didn't have a spouse, you didn't know who, or maybe you did, it didn't matter, but you wanted to be married, you would imagine that you are already married. You live in the end. So you're here, you don't have that thing in the physical, you live in the end. That's it. So if you have it, there's nothing to contemplate. You don't have to go ring shopping, you don't have to go dress shopping, you don't have to organize a seating chart. You are married. You want to be married, it's done. You think, speak, feel, and act as though it is already done. He has several techniques, but this is the most important principle, to live in the end. So if you were to go to bed, you would close your eyes, take a few breaths, steady yourself, bring in the imaginal act, as he called it, the scene. So you're married, you envision two hands with rings, you envision maybe changing your name or changing your partner's name or hyphenating each other's names, whatever marriage means to you, anything you want. And you would just play it over and over and then release it. You would start to feel like an ecstasy, or start to feel like you're acquiescing to that thing, and then you let it go. And you can do that with multiple different things, but if you could fall asleep in that state, it's even better. So if you could do one at night and then one in the morning, that's pretty much it. He would say you would do this about 3 times and then just leave it alone. Never think of it again. Because if it's already done, why are you perpetually obsessing over it? So easy. That's really all there is to it. This video could be 30 seconds long. That's all there is to it. Now the interesting thing is, when you consider how many teachers are out there talking about manifestation and teaching these things, the interesting thing is it costs nothing to create your reality. And actually, Neville Goddard never used to charge people. He would just say, tell me what you want. Don't tell me what happened before. Don't tell me why you can't have it. Just tell me what you want. And he would bring it to mind and manifest for other people. He was really good at that. So we'll talk about that in another video, how to manifest for others. And he would only accept donations. So after every session, people would just give him money, but he wouldn't charge. So anyone has the right to create their reality. If you want to charge, $800 or $1,000 for a course to manifest love, that's your prerogative. You can do what you want. It doesn't take anything from me. It doesn't take anything from you. But I implore you, please, before you do this, before you purchase a one-on-one manifestation manual, a workshop, a seminar, whatever, just try it. Just try it at home. Flex that muscle. Try to teach yourself, and then when you get really good at it, you can go on and teach other people as well, and we can all make the world whatever we want it to be. So that's just something to consider. If you find fun in that, then by all means do that, but you don't actually expressly have to buy a class, read a book, listen to me. You don't have to do anything. You have that power inside you. So one other thing that comes to mind that he spoke about that really resonates with me is when he uses quotes from scripture. And one of the ones I found so fascinating that so many teachers talk about is try to get a friend in on it. Try to get another person in on it, because it'll be really, really powerful. Because the saying is, when two or more agree, it is done. But it's not two people. It's the bringing and merging of the conscious and subconscious mind. When they are in agreement, like Abraham Hicks speaks about this, pretty much everybody speaks about this, but they have different language to express it. If you get an agreement with yourself, then your manifestation must happen. It must happen. And the third thing you need to know, so the first thing is just imagine it. That's all you need. Second is if you agree with yourself, it must come to pass. And the third thing is how to get out of your own way. I've heard this my entire life. Like, Monika, you're great, you need to get out of your own way. Because they could intuitively feel something. They couldn't really express what that meant. How do you get out of your own way? You don't doubt. And usually, this is what I used to do, most people do. Say they want to be married, but they don't know how, time's running out, they don't know who, they don't even know what they want, this person treated them bad, this person did this, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, do you know who you want? It's like, yes, but they live in another country, and the time zone and the time difference, and then thing. It's like, whoa. This is why Neville used to say, just tell me what you want. Don't tell me about anything else. Don't tell me why it didn't work before. Don't tell me what can't happen. Just tell me what you want. Because, they say, my ways are greater than your ways. It's the subconscious. So this means when they say the Lord works in mysterious ways, that's like the subconscious mind has means that are just beyond your logical understanding. So don't try to understand them. Get out of your own way. That means don't kill your desire with doubt, as Abraham says. So know what you want, and that's it. That's your only job. Just know what you want. Don't figure out how or why. Not your concern. Just know what you want and be at peace with it. I don't care if that person lives in Antarctica. It really doesn't matter. When the vibrations match up, it must come to pass, and it will happen. It's a lot easier than we think it is, but because we live in this physical world where we're constantly told no, and it can't, and here's why it can't. There's this statistic and that statistic. It makes you feel small. And then when you look at someone who's doing amazing, and you say, but that person can do it. Everyone around you says, but they're different. They're an exception. You are not an exception. You stay in your place. You better stay down there. So I find that very fascinating, honestly. I think it's so funny how we energetically police one another, never to get ahead of ourselves. Quite sad. So we can do a lot better collectively. Imagine what you want, bring it to your mind, and then drop it. Let it come to pass. Don't ask when, don't ask how. Just know that life can surprise you all the time. It can actually delight you all the time. So today I'm sitting in nature, enjoying a wonderful heat wave that we're having. I came to this wonderful park. and because it's the weekend, and with the way that things are in Ontario, you know, people are dying to get outside, and the parking lot was full, and I was so shocked because I'd never seen it that full before. I exclaimed, so many people, when I came in downhill with my car. And I was driving around looking for a spot. And one thing I remember I really never liked was when people have to like make eye contact and do one of these and then fight other drivers for the spot. If someone's like getting in their car, I don't just like sit there with my blinkers on. It just makes me uncomfortable. I just like to see an empty spot and go park in it. And I just said to the universe, you know, I'm in a really good mood. I have no resistance to when I find this parking spot. If I find a parking spot, I can just go home and record tomorrow. The world won't end. The sky won't fall down. Who cares, you know? And I just turned the corner as I thought that. And not only, and you have to believe me, there was every single row. There was like 4 or 5 cars waiting to park, blinkers on, people tense, people stealing spots. And I just thought, I want nothing to do with that. I'm just chilling, listening to classical music. And there was literally no one in sight. There was an empty spot. And not only was there an empty spot, it was at the edge of the parking lot so that I didn't have to interact with anyone in front of me, behind me. I just took it and skipped into the park like a Disney princess. So it's not that you get what you want. When you don't interfere with the why or the how, you get it in a way that actually makes you happy. So I said marriage at the beginning. Now you can get married to someone who has resistance and you're throwing fits and kicking and screaming, dragging them to the altar, and be like, I finally got married, you know? Or you could be with someone who's just as excited as you for an adventure, for a journey, someone to build a life with, someone to have good company with, you know? Which would you rather? Which would you rather? You would rather the person who thinks and feels the same way about you. You would rather the parking spot you didn't have to have a little like war of wills with on a sunny Saturday afternoon, you know? So just something to consider. I'll talk more in another video about willpower, questioning why and how. But for now, all you need to know, Neville Goddard is like the OG of manifestation. Go look him up. So much free material, so much free material. He taught it for free, I learned it for free, I use it for free, and now I'm teaching you for free. So if you wanted to pay for my time, you can pay for my time. But you could learn, you know, here, costs you nothing. He always said it costs you nothing to try. True Pisces nature, so humanitarian, so giving to all. So I appreciate that. So I think there are other teachers doing the same, and in his legacy, they're doing the same. I don't know anyone that charges for Neville's work. You know, you can pay them for their time or something like that, or their skill or their stories. But in the continuation of that, please just try it. Just bring an act, bring a scene of something that you want. You want to find $100 on the ground, just go to bed, think about it, fall asleep in it, and then write me and tell me if it happened for you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your day wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And until next time, I've got some questions to answer for now. I'm very excited to get into them, so stay tuned for that. Bye.